Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. We've got some more stories from Reddit to read, so let's jump right in.
Am I the asshole for revealing the real reason I divorced my husband to his family? Based on the title, what do you think?
I'm going to say no, because it sounds like maybe the husband wasn't telling his family the real reason.
I was married to my ex-husband for just over a year. Everything seemed fine at first, but 3 months into our marriage, he brought up something that completely threw me off. He told me that he enjoyed our sex life quite all right, but he wanted to spice it up by having a threesome.
Oh, okay.
I was so shocked. I asked him if he was joking, but he said he was serious. I told him I wasn't comfortable with that at all and went to bed, thinking it was a one-off uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, I guess. Having an awkward conversation once and deciding she's not into that.
Yeah. The next week, he brought it up again. This time, he said he had already pulled a woman who was ready to join us in the evening.
Oh, okay. So he had someone in mind.
Yeah, he totally had someone in mind. I couldn't believe it. I again told him I'm not doing that, and during the evening hours, a random woman literally walked into our home. He introduced her as the person for the threesome. I was disgusted, embarrassed, and honestly scared. I told him I wasn't interested, and after some time, the woman left.
Oh, okay. That's
so not cool of the husband. Like, she said she didn't want to do this, and he's like, hey, we got this woman. She's here right now. Let's do it now.
Right. I don't know what you do in that situation when he just shows up with the woman, like.
To be honest, I would have left the house. But then I'm scared that he might just have sex with that woman.
It's a weird situation to just show up with the woman instead of being, like, talking it out beforehand.
Yeah, shouldn't the wife have a say? Even if she wanted to have a threesome, shouldn't she have a say in who the woman or the other partner is?
Yes.
Yeah. And he just was like, this is the person we're doing it with right now. That's so that's not cool.
No, that's not cool.
After that day, he completely changed. He started staying out late, barely coming home, and emotionally checked out of the marriage. When I confronted him, his only response was, I want a threesome. He's like, really set on this.
Oh, wow.
That's when I realized I couldn't do this anymore. I filed for divorce.
Is this a midlife crisis thing?
I don't know. I think this is his thing, but he didn't tell her until he locked her down with marriage. He waited 3 months into the marriage and was like, now it's time to bring out all the weird stuff I like.
Sorry, I guess I missed that part. They're only 3 months into this marriage?
Yes.
Oh, that's really early into a marriage to be needing to spice things up.
Yeah, but I think if this is what you're into, you need to bring this up before marriage.
Oh, yeah.
And make sure that this is something your partner is going to be okay with, because otherwise your sex life is just not going to be how you think it, how you want it to be.
Yeah, they clearly have different expectations.
Yeah. Here's where things got messy. His family, especially his dad, loved our union and had high hopes for us. My family and his family were both shocked when the divorce was filed. His father called a meeting and asked me directly why I was divorcing his son. Turns out, my ex told them that I said he wasn't rich enough for me. I was furious at that lie. I didn't want to air our dirty laundry, but I couldn't let that false narrative stand. So I showed the chat messages where he was constantly pushing for a threesome. Now his friend Frank has called me to say I'm shameless and unwise for telling his family what really happened, that I should have kept it private. So, am I the asshole for telling the truth about why I divorced my husband?
No. The second the family called a meeting and made you come and explain why you were getting divorced, everything's on the table.
Yeah. Also, he's telling lies and making her look bad.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, you automatically correct that lie.
Uh-huh.
Because you're not the one that's a problem in this marriage, or divorce, I guess now. And if he's pinning the blame on you and making you look like a gold digger, you have every right to clarify and come out with the truth and be like, absolutely not. That is not the reason we're getting divorced.
Nope. Second that he decided to just he could have just shrugged it off and been like, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, come up with a different lie.
Yeah.
That's kind of neutral if you don't want your family to know.
I think it's just weird to be requesting a threesome that early into a marriage when you hadn't even brought it up beforehand.
Yeah.
That's such a strange shift when you're kind of still in your honeymoon phase of a marriage.
If there is something that you need in your sex life, you need to bring this up before you get married and locked in for life.
Absolutely.
You
gotta be open about those things.
Yeah, because springing it on someone after you've already, like, locked them in is not fair to either of you.
Right?
All right, what do you got for me?
Am I the asshole for telling my mom not to babysit anymore when my husband changed his mind?
Based on the title, there is not enough information for me to. Are you punishing the mom for by not letting her babysit, or there's not enough information.
No, this is a vague one, but
Very vague title.
that's just how the game works.
Yeah. Sounds like it's the husband's fault. No, not the asshole. Is my guess. Go ahead, tell me.
My husband is a lawyer and I'm an engineer. We both have intense careers, but he wanted a second child. I was happy with our daughter, but he really wanted another child. We now have 2 daughters, aged 3 and 1, and I came back from maternity leave, and my mom took over full-time caring for them. We both work full-time, so she takes them when we work. My mom is a nurse, but quit to look after our kids. I insisted we should pay her the going rate for daycares in the area, which is around $1,500 a child. So we pay $3,000 for her to care for our children, cook for them, etc.
Okay, that sounds fair, because she's quitting her nursing job. I bet daycare doesn't pay as much as nursing, so I wonder if they should be paying her even more. And they both make good money, engineer and lawyer. They sounds like they both make good money, so they can afford to pay mom.
Yeah, I think
mom gets to hang out with her grandchildren. So this sounds like it's working out well.
Yeah, I mean, I think a daycare can charge that much because they've got like 20 kids there, right?
Yeah.
She will also pick them up sometimes, as we may need to be in the office early. My husband complained a lot about how expensive it was to pay her. He makes $140K and I make $110K, so we can afford to pay her. But he thinks we are overpaying her and complained about it to her face. My mom is not very confrontational, but she got very upset. I argued with him on this for months, until I decided it was better for her to go back to work and for us to use daycare. Finding a daycare was hard, and now we pay $1,800 a child for daycare, and daycares obviously will not pick your children up, nor will they cook for them.
Okay, so now they're paying more.
For less.
For less.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We have less time now, and at a higher cost for our children to be sick a lot during the winter season.
Oh yeah, daycares are just germ cesspools.
Right. It's just all
so many illnesses going around in the
children
daycares.
In one room. So far this year, we have been sick as an entire household 3 times. I was on a business trip and my husband was late picking up our children, which resulted in a $75 late charge, which my mom would have not charged extra for. My husband is now demanding that my mom leave her job to go back to babysitting our children, but I won't let her because he did not research into the real cost of childcare and kept complaining how expensive it is, even when I showed him.
Okay, red flags on the husband. Demanding things of your in-laws?
Yeah. It's an amazing favor for your mother-in-law to be willing to leave her job and become a full-time child
caregiver? Yeah, that is amazing. That's an amazing favor, like you said.
That's like, why don't you just move in with us, Mom?
Yeah, his mother-in-law is doing them a huge favor, and he did not appreciate it.
No. My mom, even part-time, makes $4,300 a month as a nurse, and I told my husband if we want her doing the childcare, we need to pay her that amount.
Okay, so before they were paying her $3,000, but she can make more as a nurse.
Part-time.
Part-time nurse, $43,000. So it sounds like she is giving up an easy... Well, nursing is not easy, but part-time, not childcare job.
Yeah, a consistent part-time job that pays, like, what is that, $50,000 or so?
Okay, so she's making more than $50,000 a year working part-time at nursing, and husband wants her to quit her job, come back and work probably more than full-time taking care of their children for $36,000 a year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like a huge pay cut for way more work. Childcare is not easy.
Remember, we already pay $3,600 for daycare, and he wants her to go back to the $3,000 charge and is angry and claims my mom is asking for too much for such a simple job.
She's doing more than the daycare. She deserves more money than the daycare.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the husband maybe doesn't appreciate...
Husband's greedy and unappreciative of homework. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good thing his wife isn't the housewife because he would be treating her horribly too, I bet, and being like, you're not contributing to the family.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't appreciate homemaker
As a job.
As a
and that is a
job.
legitimate, it's hard
It's
work.
hard.
I
You
don't
got two
want to do
kids.
that.
2 kids that are 3 and 1.
Uh-huh.
They need constant attention.
Yes. I feel like raising kids is harder than like a lot of full-time office jobs and stuff.
Because you get to leave and not think about your office job, whereas raising a 3 and a 1-year-old, you have to be ready
24/7,
Yep.
even when you're sick.
wake up in the middle of the night because they're throwing up. Because they got something at the daycare.
Oh, yeah.
He wants her to go back to the $3,000 charge and is angry and claims my mom is asking for too much for such a simple job, and that a grandma taking care of her grandchildren is a privilege. I told her not to quit, and him that she isn't babysitting, which reduces his number of free hours and makes our lifestyle harder. So he is angry at me for demanding we pay her what I feel she is owed. My mom probably would do it for free if we wanted, but I definitely don't think that's fair.
It's not.
She needs to save for retirement, and she has bills as well. Am I the asshole here?
Absolutely not. Like, your husband is a huge red flag. He has no idea how much work goes into childcare and how much it's worth. He has no idea the sacrifices his mother-in-law is making to take care of his children so that him and his wife can keep working. He is just unappreciative a-hole.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think mother-in-law was doing them a lot of favors.
I would take it one step further than the wife and be like, we need to match her salary as a nurse if you want her to, because, she's giving up her nursing work, we'll match that salary, which is way more than what they're paying her.
That feels completely fair, right?
Yeah, like, that would be totally fair.
I mean, let's be honest, I imagine mother-in-law was not charging for food.
No, probably
That's
not.
probably rolled right in.
Yeah.
So the kids got a meal, at least one meal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kids got gas money.
Well, I don't know. They didn't say if the mom was babysitting at her house or at the.
They said she would come and pick them up.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So I assume they were going to grandma's.
Okay, yeah. Then they're getting free food at grandma's too. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So not the asshole.
Not the asshole 100%, but your husband needs a reality check.
I think she's giving him one.
Yes, but he still thinks he's in the right, so it's not working really. I think husband should stay home and take care of kids for 2 weeks and see if he can hack it.
Right. Take some vacation time.
Yeah. Oh, is it my turn?
It is your turn.
It's my turn.
Read me a story.
Am I the asshole for destroying my best friend's proposal because I believed she was being kidnapped?
That's... No? If you legitimately thought they were being kidnapped, I guess no. But I gotta find out how obvious it was that they were not being kidnapped.
So this actually happened last weekend, and I'm still shaking. My best friend Emily, 29 female, has been dating her boyfriend Chris, 31 male, for about 4 years. I, 28 female, love her to death, and I've always supported their relationship, even though Chris is eccentric. He loves surprises and stuff. Think flash mobs and scavenger hunts that no one asked for.
Oh my god, he arranges flash mobs?
Apparently.
That's so much work.
Scavenger hunts are kind of fun. And when she said he likes surprises, I was thinking like pranks. And I was like, oh no, absolutely not. Do not. I hate people who love pranks.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, flash mobs and scavenger hunts is pretty innocuous, you know?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of fun. I can't imagine going around and organizing like 20 people to do a flash mob for...
That's so much work.
Yeah, if you're running like the social media for a brand or something, like you might organize a flash mob, but just it sounds like he's doing it for his friend group.
Yeah.
Or
hey, is that fan on behind you?
it sure is. Well, we'll find out if that destroyed the first quarter of our audio.
Anyway, I was visiting Emily. We were walking around catching up when this unmarked white van comes up next to us. 2 masked men jump out and grab her. She begins screaming. I freak out.
Okay, not the asshole. I would have tried to kill them.
So I did what any sane, frightened human being would do. I grabbed my pepper spray, legal where I am.
Yeah.
And I yelled bloody murder and went wild.
That's the correct response.
That is the correct response to your friend being dragged into a Creeper white van.
Yeah, if somebody's trying to black bag you into a white van, you go for the throat.
Fight.
There's no rules anymore.
Sprayed one dude in the face, kicked another in the shin, and literally pulled Emily back by the coat while yelling for 911. Turned out it was Chris and two of his buddies. They were attempting the strange prank kidnapping into surprise proposal situation because Emily wanted a proposal like in the movies.
I hate that. I hate that so much. That's not a proposal like in the movies. That's a proposal like on the prank YouTube channels.
Yeah, she wanted like roses and a violin player and on the beach, romantic, and he's like, yes, kidnapping.
Yeah, Jackass the movie is a movie.
Is there a movie where they kidnap for a proposal? Because where the heck is he getting his idea that this is like a proposal like in the movies?
It changes my... I feel like she understated his surprises earlier when she said flash mobs and scavenger hunts, and now he's like, oh, I'm gonna kidnap you.
Chris was yelling, crying over the pepper spray. Emily was scared while the cops arrived. It was chaotic.
Yeah, you think that was a little chaotic?
Now Chris is angry. He tells me I ruined the most significant moment of their lives and embarrassed him in front of everyone. Emily tells me she understands why I freaked out, but wishes I had read the room.
How do you read that room?
I think she did read the room, and she read it perfectly. Emily is crazy, and the OP is the person that I want with me when I'm getting kidnapped, because she reacted perfectly.
Yeah, she didn't just turtle up or anything. She attacked.
She fought. Pepper spray, kick them, scream for 911. She did all the right things. Don't let them take you to a second location.
No, I'm not gonna lie. After I found out it was Chris, I still would have hit him again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Emily tells me she understands why I freaked out, but wishes I had read the room. But, like, how was I going to know? It seemed real. She was crying, they had masks, and it was a literal van.
Was Emily in on this at all?
It sounds like no. Emily was crying. She had no idea, but it's just now after the fact, after everything is calmed down, she's like, oh, I was going to get proposed to.
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting for a proposal and you messed it up. And now she's mad.
That would have looked great on my YouTube channel. Why did you mess up the video?
Everyone's acting like I overreacted, but I genuinely thought she was being trafficked. Am I the asshole for spoiling the proposal?
No.
Also, like, I feel like Chris really needed to bring OP in on this prank if he wanted it to run smoothly. Why didn't he make sure that she knew that this was a fake kidnapping?
Uh-huh.
This is totally on him.
That's totally on him. Yeah, don't do this, for one.
Yes.
But if you're gonna do something dumb, get everybody except for the person you're pranking involved.
Oh my gosh, if someone tried to propose to me like this, it would be an immediate no, because that's traumatizing. How dare you traumatize me like that, thinking I was getting kidnapped? And no. You apparently do not care about my feelings at all, and we are done.
If somebody tried to propose to me like this, I wouldn't get the chance to say no because I probably would have tried to kill them.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that that's how our relationship ends.
You dead, because you're dumb. Anyways, not the asshole at all. Chris is, I wouldn't marry him.
That is over several lines. No, that's insane.
I like this comment. Read the room. Read the room? Two guys snatched up your screaming friend on the street and she's yelling at you to read the room?
Is that what she was screaming?
I don't know.
While she's being thrown in the van, read the room, Ope! Ope, not Ope.
OP.
I don't know why I pronounced OP like Ope. Ope.
Is your Michigander coming out? Oh, excuse me, just gonna scooch on by here.
Oh, excuse me, just getting kidnapped. Don't mind me. Don't let it inconvenience you. Am I the asshole for not knowing a candle wasn't supposed to be lit? And then in parentheses, it had wicks.
No. Based on title, I'm guessing no. That candles are for lighting. Although, if a candle was out and did not have burned wicks, like it had already been lit, I would not light it.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one to break that candle seal.
Yeah. Because, I do have some candles that are purely for decoration, and I don't intend to ever burn them. If someone did, I wouldn't be devastated, but, yeah, they're not meant to be burnt.
I went to the bathroom last night, and it was stinky. So you couldn't make it through that sentence without laughing.
I can't!
So being the considerate boyfriend I am, I lit the candle my girlfriend left on top of the toilet. And then we went to walk the dogs.
Oh no, don't leave a lit candle unattended.
The candle looked like most scented candles I've seen. Round glass, tan-colored wax inside, smelled good, had effing wicks. We get back, smoke alarm is going off, house is cloudy but no worse than burning food in the oven. Smoke's worse in the bathroom, so I blow out the candle, and she tells me you're not supposed to light that candle. WTF, why would it have wicks? Why would she put it on top of the toilet? To me, it's like having a doormat you're not supposed to step on in front of your house. Do most guys know about this? She seems mad at me, but I told her it's crazy to do that. Am I the asshole?
I want to know what kind of candle she has that has wicks, is, so it's meant to be burned, and makes that kind of smoke. What happened to the candle while they were out walking the dogs that made it so smoky?
Well, there's a lot of edits to this one, so I think we're gonna get into it, but maybe it was dusty?
I don't know. I'm going light asshole because you don't light an previous. Oh my gosh, Freya.
I'm not sure. Hold on. Where were we?
Okay, so far in the story, I'm going a light asshole because you don't lit a candle that has never been lit before at somebody else's place. You don't do that. But it was in the bathroom. He made a stinky poo. Candles in the bathroom are usually for lighting after a stinky poo. So I kind of get where he's coming from. But just let my cat in.
Come on.
Come here. Come on. Oh, look at you. Say hello to the internet. This is the little loudmouth. Hi, Frey. She's like, I'm out of here now. Okay.
Okay, do you have any more to add to your sentence?
No, that was it, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember where I ended.
You got most of it out. Okay, so first edit. Aside from the obvious that I shouldn't have left with it lit, I take responsibility for that. If all other scented candles are fair game, except if they're out of season.
What? Out of season? Like you can't burn a pumpkin one in the spring?
Pretty much, like you can't burn a Christmas one in the summer.
I totally do that, so, okay.
Yeah. She doesn't like the house to smell too much like dogs, so she likes when I do. The big question here is, why the fuck are there wicks in a decorative candle you're going to put above a toilet and not tell me it's off limits? So he's really upset about the wicks.
It has wicks. It's meant to be burned, which is not always true. A lot of decorative candles have wicks, and they can be burned, but they're not really meant to be burned. But still, most decorative candles you can still burn.
I'm a little on his side. I don't know this much about candles.
I don't think most men do, come to think of it.
Edit 2. I accept I am the asshole, but still, fuck those candles.
Okay, he still hasn't gotten to what the heck is in this candle that is making it smoke up like a smoke bomb.
I don't know if he ever gets into it.
What is wrong with the candle? I want to know what is wrong with this candle that it's smoking so much.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. Because, yeah, if a candle is not meant to smoke or it will combust and make lots and lots of smoke, it shouldn't have a wick.
Yeah, all I can think is that maybe it was a little dusty and the dust caught on fire.
I don't know.
Edit 3. Holy shit, y'all know how to beat a dead horse. I get it. I'm an asshole for leaving the house with it lit. I've accepted that. I will be sure to never do it again. Now try imagining the question as in, I lit it and sat down on the couch and then it started smoking. Am I the asshole then? Girlfriend and I share candles, share a household, and share the financial responsibility for these. They are not hers, they're ours.
Okay, so they live together.
They live together. I'm not 100% sure I agree that they're ours. Sometimes you can still have things with the shared finances.
Mm-hmm.
But this question was just supposed to be about how in the hell I was supposed to, without being told, know that there was a fake candle I shouldn't have lit. The label doesn't even say anything, just hand-poured wax. There's more edits, of course. Final edit. It is a fucking candle. Like a candle. I've been at work all night, but I got home and just looked at the bottom. Instructions say trim wick to 1/4 inch before lighting. I did not do this as being the apparent caveman I see candle, I light candle.
I'm not gonna lie, I never trim the wicks either.
So that's apparently a very smoky wick if you don't trim it.
Okay.
She's asleep, so I can't rub it in her face after she said, that candle isn't supposed to be lit. They're not meant for that. But this is all I need. Am I the asshole for leaving it lit for a quick piss walk before bed with her and the dogs? Yes. Am I an asshole for thinking this stupid thing was in fact a candle? No. Cutting the wick thing was ignorance for not thinking the protective lid that usually comes with a plastic peel around it would have prevented someone from lighting it otherwise, and they probably should make the damn things ready to go. Here's a lesson to anyone out there about to light a candle. Apparently they have instructions. I now know she was wrong, and we never got into a major fight, so I will humbly, and in the least petty way, just leave the candle upside down next to the sink, so when she wakes up first thing to brush her teeth, she can know that the candle was in fact meant to be lit, and that I was right. I can't add links or pics here, but it's called Mermaid Shimmer from At Home. I may be dumb, but I can hang my hat up knowing I had every right to light it. Good night to all, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Wow, he's really defensive about that.
Yeah, I mean, it apparently was meant to be lit.
Yeah.
I don't know if, unless the candle's made of, like, plastic, I think it's pretty obvious that most candles can be lit.
And what was it, At Home? At Home totally is like a common candle brand. I would have been like, oh yeah, this is okay to light.
Yeah, like you said, it's the only faux pas might be lighting a candle that's never been lit.
Yeah.
Alright, and there's one final edit.
Oh my goodness.
For real, last update. I was tipsy and kidding about actually doing that petty stuff, though it did cross my mind. I will go to At Home tomorrow and buy her the same candle and put it back atop the toilet. If you've read anything I've said, I have certainly learned my lesson about leaving candles unattended. I will also apologize and ask that she either cut off the wicks or tell me when she has a candle she doesn't want used, as this is a first-time thing. We're fine. Since this candle is already ruined, however, I will be damned if I don't burn the rest of that fucker down to the bottom, and trimming the wicks, of course.
Well, he is very nice in that he is replacing the candle that he burned mistakenly against his girlfriend's wishes. That's very kind of him. And I kind of don't blame him for lighting a candle in the bathroom, you know?
Yeah, the toilet candle I would assume it has a purpose.
Yeah. I still want to know why it was smoking so much.
Yeah.
It can't just be the long wick. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fill, it like makes a few puffs of smoke and then it like chills out and it's fine. It doesn't fill the whole house with smoke. So what the heck is in that candle?
I don't know. That's why I kept guessing. The only thing I could think is that it had some dust or something that lit.
Don't know. Okay.
I personally think he's not the asshole, but I'm not a candle expert.
Well, hopefully he learned an important lesson about fire safety.
Oh, I think he did, because I think that's all the comments focused on in this one is yelling at him about basic fire safety.
Am I the asshole? I always make cakes for my niece's birthday. This year, I stayed at home.
Where does she make the cakes that she can't make them at home?
I think she stayed at home, didn't go to the party or bring a cake.
Oh, yeah, honestly. Kind of sounds like an asshole move. Maybe there's a reason for it, but, I don't know, unless the niece specifically told you they don't want a cake this year.
Since my niece, 8, was born, I've always been asked to make a cake for her birthday. The first year went good, but in the second year, something happened and started a tradition that I hate. The smash cake in the face thing.
Oh, they're smashing her cake?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sounds
no.
like it. The first time, it was even funny. I can't deny that. The timing was perfect, and we had plenty of other food, too. No one was hurt, the cake landed on my sister's face, and it was just a plain blue cake with the words Happy Birthday written on it.
Wait, the cake landed on her sister's face?
I don't know how it happened, yeah.
Okay.
And they're smashing it in the sister's face, not the niece.
Sure.
Whose birthday it is.
Yeah, it's like that seems strange. Usually you like wait till they're blowing out the candle and
smash.
Do the smash.
Smash it in the birthday person's face.
Yeah. Either way, I don't like it.
I hate the cake smash face thing.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it. Okay. Third year, my sister asked me for a Winnie the Pooh themed cake. I didn't think much of it and agreed again. I spent hours on this cake and made it 3 times because the first 2 versions were terrible and I couldn't find a way to save them. I'm not a professional, I just like it. When I brought this cake, I was proud of myself. An hour later, my niece's face ended up in the cake. I tried to laugh with the others, but I felt frustrated. No one even tried it, and then the cake was thrown away.
Oh no. That's such a waste of cake.
Right?
It's no, don't stop smashing cakes.
She spent hours on this cake, many times,
Yeah.
remade it because the first 2 times didn't come out the way she wanted, and they just smashed it and threw it away.
Yeah, if you're gonna be smashing cakes, just do like a sheet cake with like a little bit of like store-bought icing on top and like scribble happy birthday on it. Don't
Not the fancy Winnie the Pooh themed
Yeah.
cake that took hours.
No, this family's insane. I hate her family.
It was the same over the next years. Each time my sister promised me that this time we would eat the cake and not continue this tradition. Then I would bring the cake, she would take a picture, stick my niece's head or hers in the cake, and throw it out while everyone else laughed.
You've given your sister so many second chances.
Right?
I don't think I would have gotten past year 2.
Also, I just don't understand if I went to a party and saw a cake and was like, oh yeah, that's a delicious looking cake. Look how cool that is. We're going to eat cake. And then they smashed someone's face in it and threw it away and I didn't get cake. I would be devastated. I would be so mad.
Yeah, how does their birthday tradition just like evolve to the point where there's a cake, we smash someone's face into it, don't eat it, but you eat the birthday cake?
Yes. Birthday cakes are for eating. This year, I had had enough. I said I wouldn't make a cake. My sister tried to convince me for weeks, sending me pictures with ideas for this year, but I kept saying no. So she keeps sending like pictures for ideas for like fancy looking cakes.
Yeah, right? Like,
That take time.
it sounds like sister maybe needs to make her own cake.
I kept saying no. I finally got pissed off and said that not only am I not making the cake, but I'm not going to the birthday party either. I gave my niece a present a month before her birthday, and every time someone asked me, I said, I'm not going. Well, they still didn't believe me. They had the party, and from what I know from my cousin, everyone was waiting for me for 2 hours. They tried to contact me several times, but my phone was turned off. My niece started crying at one point, and my sister's husband finally ran to the store and bought the first cake he saw. But everyone was irritated, and instead of focusing on the party, they were discussing my absence. They also returned home earlier than usual.
Why were they waiting for her? She
They
said really clearly, I'm not coming.
Right?
Did they smash that cake?
I don't know. Let's keep reading.
Okay.
To be honest, I feel a little bad and I'm no longer sure if I did the right thing. My sister always pays me for the cakes and I really like my niece. But on the other hand, it annoys me to see my work and food go to waste like that. Edit, no, I didn't take the money this time. No cake, no money. But yes, my sister only paid for the ingredients in the past,
Yeah, that's what you usually do. You're like, well, you could give me $20 for all these ingredients, and then I won't charge you for time.
So they weren't paying her for all the hours she put in to make these fancy cakes.
Right.
No, the cake wasn't eaten before or after it was destroyed. Literally everything went in the trash, which is what hurts me the most. I hate wasting food like this.
No, I don't like that either.
Yeah, okay, another edit. No, my niece doesn't hate this tradition. She never cried. She always laughs when it happened. That's good, because I would cry if someone smashed cake in my face. If the niece is down with this, then this makes it a less terrible thing, but it's still, I think, a terrible waste of cake.
It sounds to me like niece's birthdays have just, this is what they do every year, so niece was raised on this tradition.
Yeah. Okay, final edit. No, from what I know, they didn't ruin the cake they bought because they weren't in the mood.
That's insulting.
So they went out, bought a grocery store cake, and did not smash it, but actually ate that one.
I hate that. What is wrong with my cakes that you smash mine, but you eat the grocery store one? I don't believe that you didn't feel like it. I don't believe that.
So am I the asshole for not making a cake for my niece?
No, you should be smashing these grocery store ones, and hers should be left pristine on the counter for later eating.
I totally agree. I think the solution here is to buy a small grocery store cake for smashing and leave the beautiful cakes that she has worked hard on pristine for eating.
Right.
And not smash the good cake.
Yeah, this seems crazy to me that you would ask your sister to put in all this work and then just smash it in front of her.
And throw it away.
And I think it's insane that the sister told them, like, a month in advance, I'm not coming, I'm not making a cake. And then they spent 2 hours waiting for her to show up with a cake. Like, there's no common sense there.
Now, where I do think she's a little bit of the asshole is her niece's birthday was ruined and her niece's feelings were hurt and she was crying. I think what she should have done is either buy a grocery store cake and bring it, or just make a cake with like minimal effort. Sheet cake, store-bought icing, you know, and bring it to the party because she knows it's going to be smashed, but I don't think she should have just not shown up for her niece's party.
I agree. I mean, show up for the party.
Yes, because this is not the niece's fault. The niece has grown up thinking that this is normal. This is what her parents are doing. This is what her parents have taught her happens at birthday parties. This is how we do it. It's not the niece's fault that the cake gets smashed every year.
Right. I think she shouldn't even have to bring the cake, though. Like, just, you still show up. But say, hey, I'm not bringing a cake this year. That's on you. That
is also a good solution. But I do think she should have shown up to her niece's party to support her niece.
Yeah, you support your niece, celebrate her birthday, and also be there to defend the fact that you didn't bring a cake, being like, hey, I told you in advance in front of everybody.
Yes, good point. Yeah, the sister is the a-hole for smashing her sister's cake every year. I can't believe you put that much work into a cake just to have it smashed and thrown away.
Right.
I want to eat it!
Yeah, there's no excuse for smashing a cake that somebody put that much work into.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my vacation days so my coworker can go on her honeymoon?
Based on title, I'm going not the asshole. Coworker should have planned this out ahead of time and requested those days off.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, let's read it.
Okay.
I work at a small company where vacation time is pretty limited, and we have to request it months in advance. I put in my request almost a year ago to take a 2-week vacation during the holidays. My plan was to visit family who live out of the country, something I only get to do once every few years. Recently, a coworker of mine who's getting married came up to me and asked if I'd be willing to give up my vacation days so she could go on her honeymoon. She apparently didn't realize how quickly the days would fill up and waited too long to request her time off. Now the only way she can go is if someone cancels, and since I have one of the longest vacation blocks, she came to me first. I told her I was really sorry, but I can't give up my time. This trip means a lot to me, and it's the only time I can see my family this year. She wasn't happy and told me I was being selfish for not accommodating her once-in-a-lifetime event. Now, a few other coworkers are chiming in, suggesting I could be more flexible since I don't have any special circumstances like a wedding. I feel bad, but I also planned this trip far in advance, and it's important to me. Am I the asshole for not giving up my vacation so she can go on her honeymoon?
Absolutely not. Coworkers should have been putting in their time for vacation as soon as they knew about their wedding and honeymoon, and OP has had this booked
like a year in advance.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had this booked for a year. There's no reason that they should have to change their plans just because someone else is getting married and didn't plan accordingly.
And it sounds like they booked like an international flight.
Yeah.
And are going to visit family, so that family probably is taking time off.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot to rearrange.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if they did it, but there's absolutely no obligation for them to change their vacation for someone else's.
It'd be almost beyond nice.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a pushover behavior.
Yeah.
I understand asking your coworkers, if something like this happens, being like, hey, how can we rearrange your vacation at all? What's going on with this?
But you should absolutely be ready to take no for an answer, because that is a huge ask for someone else.
Right. And there's no point in the story where they talk about if any of the other coworkers gave up their vacation around the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever, in that, there wasn't a ton of information, but I don't know if they ever even offered to reimburse them for the flights.
Yeah, good point.
I don't think you get a refund from the airline because you tell them that your coworker wanted the day, so you gave up.
Yeah, that's a huge ask, because if they have already booked flights and they can't cancel them or whatever, yeah, you're asking them to just waste lots and lots of money, and that's not fair.
Yeah, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Person getting married is very entitled. Just because it's her special event doesn't mean that everybody else needs to accommodate her to the detriment of themselves.
Right, I agree. Plan out your honeymoon. You don't have to go on your honeymoon during that block. You could rearrange for a block that is
Yeah, a
available.
lot of people go on honeymoons like way after the wedding, not right after.
Right. So there's no reason it has to be in that block either.
Yeah, take your honeymoon another time.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. That was short.
Short and simple.
Am I the asshole for refusing to wear the wedding dress my sister-in-law gave me as a wedding gift?
That's an insane wedding gift.
Right?
Is it? Okay. There's a chance that it's some like family heirloom, but it sounds like it's not. And even then, you're not obligated to make the sister can wear the family heirloom dress if it's their family thing. No, I'm going to say not the asshole. That's insane to try to give the bride a dress.
Yeah, like the bride has the final say over what dress she wears, trying to make her wear something.
The bride has the final say over everything. The bride gets to decide what dress she wears, what dress the bridesmaids wear, what tux the groom gets. Sorry, groom, you don't get any choices.
I, 27 female, met my fiancé Jacob, male 31, when I was 21. We've been together for 6 years and engaged for almost a year out of those. My mother's wedding dress has been passed down for generations, and I remember being a little girl dreaming of walking down the aisle in it. We have recently been wedding planning, and we were invited to a dinner hosted by my fiancé's family that was on a Sunday. So she already has a sentimental wedding dress that she is planning to wear.
So it's the opposite of what I said. She has the family heirloom dress that she's gonna wear.
When we arrived, we greeted everyone and sat at the table to eat. Sister-in-law stood up and tapped her spoon against her glass and said that she had to make a toast. She then said she would be right back before going into another room and returning with a large plastic bag. Everyone seemed to be excited, but I just felt confused. I awkwardly smiled as I asked sister-in-law what was inside the bag. She opened it up to reveal her wedding dress from her wedding, which was 2 years ago. Everyone began clapping as sister-in-law announced that this was her official wedding gift to us and she wanted me to wear her dress at the wedding. I tried to smile, but I guess I didn't do a good job of hiding my disappointment, and everyone began asking me what was wrong. I tried to explain how I wanted to wear my mother's dress and that it was nothing personal, but that I refused to wear my sister-in-law's dress.
That's not a wedding gift at all.
Right?
That's insanity. That's... Who wants to wear their sister-in-law's used wedding dress?
Yeah, that's crazy. Unless they talked about it before and requested, hey, I would really like to wear your dress because such and such reasons.
That's the only...
Just give it without prior discussion and be like, you're wearing this to your wedding now. Is insane.
That's crazy. That's almost like I'm too cheap to buy you a wedding gift. Here's my hand-me-down. What is that?
My sister-in-law began crying as my in-laws began tearing into me and comforting her. I just burst into tears and ran outside. My fiancé didn't even come after me, and after crying my eyes out on the steps for what felt like hours, he finally came outside and yelled at me to get into the car. Ooh, red flags on the fiancé.
Well, that's a real big red flag. What is that?
I was so confused, but I got into the car just to hear him berate me on how I had made such a big scene and embarrassed him in front of his family. He sounded so mad, and he even said he couldn't believe he chose to marry such a bitchy, see you next Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Immediate, we're breaking up, if you call me that.
Get out of the car, jeez.
Yeah. Those were his exact words. The bitchy, see you next Tuesday.
Oh, no.
My fiance also said how sister-in-law was just trying to be nice and that her dress was more modern compared to my mother's dress, which looked like an old rag. Also his exact words. I tried to tell him how much my mother's wedding dress meant to me because I promised her that I would wear it. I felt like my fiance's family planned this and put me on the spot thinking I wouldn't stand up for myself and just agree to wear sister-in-law's dress. I don't think I did anything wrong, but a part of me thinks that I should have just gone along with it and then told sister-in-law in private that I wouldn't be wearing her dress. Am I the asshole?
No. Let's start with no, you're not the asshole. But you did do one thing wrong, and that's getting to the point where you're engaged to a man who calls you that name.
I know, the disrespect. Any man who called me that is immediately out of my life.
Right? I do not believe that he jumped straight to that. There must have been signs up to this point.
Yeah, he must. I do feel like if he's already calling her that, he must be somewhat abusive, at least verbally, already.
She needs some self-respect.
Yeah.
And she had it enough to say no to the sister-in-law, but no, you're not the asshole. I'm sorry. that your fiance called you that.
And that your soon-to-be in-laws are crazy enough to think that they can tell you what you are going to wear on your wedding day.
I really hope they're no longer soon-to-be in-laws.
I think what happened is he knew that she was going to wear her mother's dress and hated how it looked because it looks like an old rag.
Oh, yeah.
So he told his sister-in-law, hey, you need to fix this. I don't want her wearing her mother's dress. You give her your dress. It at least looks like at least looks a little more modern.
Like he asked sister-in-law to do this surprise and maybe, but this is our conspiracy theory here.
Yes. I feel like he hated how his future bride's dress looked because it was old-fashioned. And he put his sister up to doing this in front of everybody to try and force his future bride into wearing a more modern and, in his opinion, pretty dress.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. But also, huge flag for one not standing up for her, not coming to comfort her, yelling at her, and then calling her that terrible name.
That, I didn't like any of that.
Nope.
No, that was just straight red flags from start to finish.
Yep. It's crazy. I hope she doesn't end up marrying him.
I really hope. I hope that as well.
Saves her mother's dress to wear with someone who is more worthy.
Right. Speaking as someone who is happily married, I didn't care what dress you wore.
Aww. Okay. And there is an update. I know a majority of you told me to leave him, and I took some time to think about it, but I know I can't leave without a proper conversation. At the end of the day, I spent 6 years with this man, and this behavior is honestly out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So maybe he's not a verbally abusive a-hole usually.
Hopefully not.
I agree with a lot of the comments saying that his family was influencing him because he used to be so caring and kind, but ever since the wedding planning began, he changed. Since the dinner on Sunday, he hasn't been talking to me at all and always leaves the room whenever I come in. His honestly immature behavior and all of your comments have made me rethink the whole relationship.
Yeah,
that makes me glad.
Leaving the room when you come in, he's turned into a groomzilla is what she's saying.
Yes.
But leaving the room when you come in is nuts.
That's very immature.
Yeah.
Learn how to talk out your problems. Jeez. I did end up making him sit down with me a few hours ago to talk about things and have an adult conversation. He was very dismissive and was just scrolling on his phone for the majority of the time.
That's not an adult conversation.
Nope. I tried to explain how I felt put on the spot at the dinner and how his reaction and the fact he didn't come after me or comfort me post the dinner was so hurtful and disrespectful. All he had to say in response was that I was being selfish and that my sister-in-law was trying to help and I had just embarrassed her in front of everyone.
It kind of sounds like our conspiracy theory that maybe he had something to do with it is out the window.
The conversation... Wait, why do you think that?
Well, I don't know. He said it was just sister-in-law trying... Unless he's trying to throw sister-in-law under the bus.
I think sister-in-law was trying to help at his insistence.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The conversation honestly went nowhere, and I felt really shitty and lost. Around an hour ago, he came up to me and apologized, saying he was sorry and that he understood how I was feeling. I asked what we would do about the dress, and he told me that he had talked to sister-in-law, and she had agreed to let me wear my mother's dress during the reception, but I would wear her dress during the main ceremony.
No, what? Let you wear the mother-in-law? Let you wear your mother's dress? That's nuts. I don't like any of this, Kristie.
The sister-in-law is letting her. Like, what say does the sister-in-law have in this wedding?
Nothing.
She's not a member of this wedding party.
She might be a member of the wedding party.
Well, not a member of the marriage.
Right?
I admit I kind of lost it because he said it as if I needed permission to wear my wedding dress on my wedding day.
Right.
Good for her. I haven't felt so disrespected in my life. I've just been sitting inside our bedroom and I'm pretty sure things are over after this. Edit. I will admit my mother's dress is slightly old-fashioned, but I had talked to him before we got engaged about how it was my dream to wear it, which he had no problems with. The fact that he didn't respect how sentimental it was to me is what hurt. Also, during our second conversation, he kept bringing up how his family was paying for the majority of the wedding, which, yes, they were paying about 75% of it. But I tried to remind him that it was my wedding, too.
Who cares who's paying for it?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with anything. Sorry. That's a gift from your family to you're the happy couple. It does not entitle you to any decision-making.
Agreed. Edit 2. Yes, I'm leaving him for sure now. I really don't appreciate the comments calling me bad names for staying. I never intended to stay, and the only reason I thought we needed a conversation was because this behavior was recent and I wanted to understand what was going on. I haven't told him that it was over officially, though it should be obvious, yet mainly because I'm scared he might do something violent, as many comments said. I need a few days to figure things out, and I'm going to tell my brother to pick me up so I can stay there for a few days. I'm logging off for now, but I'll update if anything happens. That is the last update, though.
Okay.
But I am glad that she is breaking off the marriage and is not marrying him because he is having some unacceptable behavior.
He's had some sort of wedding jitters mental breakdown, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And you don't need to deal with that.
Yep.
I'm sorry you wasted 6 years.
Yeah, but it's time to cut your losses, and I don't think there's any fixing this.
No, the whole family on his side seems insane.
All right.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Best of luck, not the asshole. Glad you're getting out of that relationship because it doesn't sound like it's going anywhere good.
Did not sound healthy, no.
Nope.
Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids after she embarrassed me at a family dinner?
Based on the title, I'm going not the asshole. Your sister is not owed your babysitting. She's not entitled to your time. But go ahead and tell me the story.
So, I, 17 female, have an older sister, Lisa, 27 female, who has 3 kids, 6 male, 4 female, and 2 female. She's always asking me to babysit for free, and I usually do it because I love my nieces and nephew. But lately I feel like she's been taking advantage of me.
Babysitting for free is very nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's
of her to do.
That's super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Last weekend we had a big family dinner at my parents' house. Everything was fine until my mom jokingly mentioned how I've been focusing on school a lot lately, and Lisa goes, "Yeah, because she doesn't have a life otherwise. No boyfriend, no social life, just stuck at home doing math." I laughed it off at first, but she kept going, making jokes about how I'm basically a live-in nanny, and how she's doing me a favor by giving me something to do.
What? Doing you a favor? You're doing her a huge favor by babysitting her brats. She's not doing you a favor by getting you out of the house. You could be doing other fun stuff, not babysitting.
Uh-huh. The whole table was laughing, and I was sitting there embarrassed as hell. My dad even said, "Lisa, that's enough," but she shrugged it off. I was so mad that I decided right then and there that I was done. The next time she texted me, "Hey, can you watch the kids Saturday?" I just replied, "No, I'm busy." She asked me with what, and I said, "Finding a life."
I like that.
Now she's furious, saying I'm being childish and punishing her over a joke. Even my mom is saying I should be the bigger person. But I feel like if I don't set a boundary now, she'll keep walking all over me.
It's not a joke if the person you're joking about doesn't find it funny. If the person you're joking about doesn't find it funny, it's bullying. She's bullying her sister and now wants her to come babysit her kids for free.
Right.
So entitled.
That was the end of the story.
Oh, that's the end of the story? So is she the asshole?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I love her comeback of, "I'm busy finding a life."
Right.
I think her sister is just jealous of all of the free time that she has because now she's got 3 kids and has no free time, and she's just jealous that her sister doesn't have to watch 3 kids all the time.
There is an edit.
Okay.
Edit. Thank you so much. I was going to cave in and say sorry because I really like spending time with her kids.
Okay, I'm proud of her for not caving in. And good on the internet for supporting her and convincing her not to cave in because her sister's mean.
Yeah, I agree. It's especially because she's doing it for free.
Yeah.
She's 17 and you're 27.
And she's making fun of her for not having a life. Like, what is she supposed to be doing? She's supposed to be studying her for high school.
At 17, you always need money too. Like, Give your sister $20 for babysitting.
Yeah.
So, I think that one's pretty straightforward. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Okay, so that's it for this week's episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode.